you can create queries with calculated fields, and the calculations are similar to Excel calculations. The difference is that we're using fields in our calculations instead of cell references. So what we're going to do is go into Create and go into Query Design. And again, we're going to work with the employees table. So we'll go ahead and double click on that and close the Show Table dialog. And then what we're going to do is add the employee ID, first name, last name, and annual salary fields. Then for the fifth field, what they would like is for us to calculate the pension contribution, which is 3% of the annual salary. So I'm going to widen this. The easiest way to do this calculated field is to first key in the column heading or the name of the field. And so we're going to call it pension contribution. And after you key in the name that you want displayed, you have to key in a colon. So the way Access interprets this is anything before the colon becomes your column heading or your field name. Anything after that colon needs to be the calculation. And if you're going to include fields, those fields have to be in brackets. And you have to spell the field correctly. So the bracket key is right next to the letter P. You have a left and a right bracket. And so I'm going to key in the left bracket. And I'm going to key in annual salary the same way it is displayed here. There are no spaces, and I need to spell it correctly. So after I key it in, I'm going to put in the right bracket. And then to get the 3%, I'm going to multiply it by 0.03. Okay, so I've got annual salary in brackets times 0.03, and I'm going to go ahead and press enter. Okay, now I'm going to save this as pension cont, short for contribution. And I'm going to click OK. And then I'm going to run this. Okay, and what you should notice is that it has done a calculation. So for this particular annual salary, 3% of that is the figure shown, and that is the contribution to the pension. Now you'll notice when you look at the pension contribution that the numbers are not formatted in a very user-friendly format, and we can fix that. So we're going to go back into Design View. You want to make sure you're clicking on pension contribution, and we're going to go into the property sheet. And the property sheet lets you do captions, lets you do input masks. You remember from field properties that we've been working with. And it also lets you format. So we're going to click on Format. That gives us a list arrow. We're going to click the list arrow and we're going to choose Currency. Okay, once we've done that, we can close the field properties, save our changes, and run this again. Okay, and now you'll notice that it is much more user-friendly. Now, in addition to this calculated field, they would also like a totals row. Now, we use this row with our tables, and you can do that here in the queries as well. You just click on the totals button that's in your home ribbon, and then click below the figure that you want a calculation on. And we want calculations on annual salary and pension. So we're going to click below annual salary. That gives us a list arrow. And if we click on that, you can see the different statistical functions that we used back in Excel. And we are going to choose sum, because that'll give us the total. And we're going to do the same thing for pension contribution. We're going to click the list arrow, and choose sum. And then if you want to adjust your column widths, even though we're in a query, it's basically the same procedure that you used for your tables. You're just going to highlight your fields, go to More, Field Width, and choose Best Fit. Okay, and at this point, we're going to go ahead and we're going to save our changes. And then you can close out of your query.